and it just made me even more upset because I didn't want to be rude. I just didn't want to have conversations longer than I had to, and I didn't want to look at them in the face because then they would be able to see my acne. Let's do it on the comfy bed, seeing as I am getting real and raw and vulnerable. Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to share my acne journey from start to finish and leave out no details. If we haven't met before, my name is Madison Dohnt and I am a science graduate, avid researcher, biology teacher and naturopathy student. I'm absolutely blown away by the number of messages that I have already received just 2 weeks after my channel launched, of girls saying that they feel so much more confident now that they know what the hell is going on with their body, and also some girls even saying that they have seen changes already. So thank you so much for your feedback. It just makes me want to continue this channel even more and really educate you so that you do know what the hell is going on with your body. If this sounds like something that you might want to learn too, then make sure to check out my other videos and also subscribe and hit the little notification bell so that you get notified when I post a new video every Sunday. So the last few years I have been not only on the pill but also on antibiotics for my breakouts. Now, I would never have said that I had acne, but I would always just have at least one cyst, and the day that that one went away would be the day that I got a new one, and they were pretty much always on my chin. And I was very self-conscious. I hated breaking out and yeah, I couldn't handle it, and that's why I went on to Doxy, because I just wanted clear skin. But I was on Doxy for over a year, which now that I think about it is so cringe because you should not stay on antibiotics for that long. So it was my old doctor that introduced me to Doxy, and before I knew better, I would have been happy to stay on Doxy for the rest of my life. I was first put on a double dose, so I'm not sure if you can get tablets that are different milligrams, but of the tablets that I was given, I was told to take 2 at the start, and this was going to attack the cysts really quickly and just to reduce the inflammation. I was meant to go back down to 1 after my face had initially cleared, but I found that whenever I did try to go back down to 1 tablet, that my cysts and pimples would just come back and it would be just like not being on Doxy at all. So I asked my doctor if I could stay on 2, and she said that it would be fine to go back up to 2 for now. When I was on a double dose of Doxy, I still got the occasional pimple, but it was probably the best that my face had looked in 6-7 years since before I went on the pill. So considering that my face was clear before I went on the pill, it's probably obvious that I didn't go on the pill for my skin. I just went on the pill for contraceptive reasons when I got my first boyfriend, and then when we split, I just stayed on the pill because it was super convenient in regulating my periods, and it kept my breakouts at bay, so I just kept on it. But when I say kept my breakouts at bay, I was breaking out on the pill, but I thought that it would get so much worse if I went off the pill. One day after being on Doxy for over a year, I went back to my old doctor and I told her that I wanted to get off. I didn't know anything about the microbiome at that time, but I did know about antibiotic resistance, and I just knew that being on antibiotics for too long was not good. So if you overuse antibiotics, then when you really, really need them because of a really serious infection, then they wouldn't be as effective because you would have developed resistance to them. So I knew that it wasn't sustainable. I knew that I couldn't be on them forever. And at that time, that was October 2018, my face was clear, I was happy. So I just thought, okay, maybe it's about time to stop relying on Doxy, and my face is clear, so I'll just get off. Around this time, I'd also heard that the pill that is better for face, which I was on, was bad for blood clotting. And because we have stroke in the family, I figured maybe I should change the pill back to Levlin, which was the first one that I was on when I initially went on the pill. I'll also do a future video on the different types of pills and the difference between them so that you can have a better idea of which one you're on and what the pros and cons are. So I got off Doxy pretty quickly, and at that same time I switched back to Levlin, and by the end of November my chin had a really big cyst. Just in time for my birthday and my work Christmas party, which was just fabulous. And so I decided to go dairy free because I didn't want to go back on Doxy. So I was trying to get rid of the cyst and maybe just prevent any more from happening. Little did I know how bad it was about to get. So by Christmas time, my chin was a mess. I was still dairy free, but yeah, I just had cysts all over my chin and was not happy about it. On the 7th of January, I went to Bali. And this was on a group tour. So I went there solo and I was meeting new people all the time, and I was getting new pimples every day, which was really great. Yeah, I was very self-conscious and my chin it was not having a good time. But then it happened. I got a cyst on my cheek and my forehead in that week that I was in Bali. Now I was still dairy free. Dairy free is actually quite easy in Bali because of the funky little cafes that they have. But yeah, I was still breaking out. And what was worse is that the cysts and the pimples that were already there weren't going away. So the ones that came were just adding to the mess already. So when I got home from Bali, my face was pretty much a cyst making machine, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse, especially over the next 2 weeks until I could get into the doctor. So my new doctor that I was going to, I heard that he was really good from my sister, and also he owns his own practice. So I was really keen to go to him and just see what he had to say. And he was really hard to get into. So I booked an appointment as soon as I got home from Bali, but I couldn't get in until the 3rd of February. Now in that time, my cheeks were just covered in cysts. And this is how I knew that it was different to anything that I'd experienced before, because like I said, my cysts and my pimples and my breakouts were usually on my chin, whereas you can see from the before photos that it was very much on my cheekbones and they were painful. So yeah, I really couldn't wait until my doctor's appointment. I was counting down. So the appointment came around and I told my doctor that I didn't want to go back on Doxy. I said that I've been on Doxy for over a year, and obviously when I came off Doxy I had the same problem as when I went on Doxy, so I just knew that it wasn't sustainable, it wasn't a long-term solution, and I figured that I was already in this mess, my face was already this bad, so I just want to do whatever it takes to just fix the problem now rather than just putting it off, because when I go off it in the future, I'll just have this issue all over again, and I just didn't think that I could handle going through this again. So I just wanted to clear my face and not rely on a drug that was just gonna make me break out when I went off it. He said that he could see my mental health was struggling, and it was. So he did want to put me on doxycycline, but he said that he would help me get off it, and he said that it would only just be to calm the initial inflammation and to kind of reduce the cysts and make them less painful to begin with. He also changed my pill back to the one that was better for face, so he changed it back to Yasmin, and he recommended a benzoyl peroxide wash so that I simplify my skincare routine and I just have that cleanser, and also he prescribed Epiduo as a topical treatment for the ones that were really, really bad. Now, admittedly, I then also went to my mum's doctor because mum said that she was really good, and I wanted a second opinion just to make sure that this was definitely what I needed to do for my face and this was the best option. And that doctor also recommended that I change my pill back, that I go on Doxy, and she was saying all this without knowing that I'd seen a previous doctor. She also prescribed me Epiduo, and she specifically said that I should be using the Cetaphil Acne Prone cleanser and moisturizer. So the cleanser is like a foam, and I use that one morning and night still to this day. And the moisturizer I don't use anymore because it's really drying, and I'll talk about that in a second. My doctors also told me that I should stop wearing makeup because that will interfere with the acne. But I pretty much just laughed and said that this is the time in my life where I have needed makeup the most. Obviously, I totally agree with them that not wearing makeup would help make it better, but there was just no way that my self-esteem could handle going outside with no makeup. I couldn't even go outside with makeup, except for when I had to for work. So that was just not an option. So the end of January through to the start of March was probably one of the hardest times for me. So the cysts were just so painful and itchy, and whenever I did go to work and I had like 3 times the amount of makeup on as I wear now, and it was awful. As soon as I came home from work, I took off my makeup because I was just in so much pain and it felt so oily. And yeah, if you're currently struggling with acne, I 110% know how you're feeling and know how painful it is. Like, it's not just the appearance of acne that affects your mental health, but acne is so much more painful than you think it is. Like, it's not just a normal pimple, especially cystic acne. Like, when you smile, when you talk, it's just, oh, I can still imagine it. It's so painful, so painful. Not to mention all the mental health issues. So you have increased anxiety, like you can't even have a proper conversation with someone without in the back of your mind thinking like, are they looking at my pimples? They're looking at my pimples. Have they noticed? Like, you're all in your head. You get depressed because you've got social withdrawal, and it's so bad. Like, usually I'm a super bubbly person at work, and like yesterday it was the first day back of term and I was just really energetic and banter and like smiling and talking to everybody, whereas like at the start of the year in the first term for 10 weeks I basically just avoided conversation where possible. And I wouldn't look people in the eyes when I was talking to them because I just didn't want them to look at my acne. So I would be multitasking while I was having conversations, and I would feel so rude, and it just made me even more upset because I didn't want to be rude. I just didn't want to have conversations longer than I had to, and I didn't want to look at them in the face because then they would be able to see my acne. So in the first few weeks of doing the plan that we got from the doctors, I didn't see a difference. Now, with anyone that has acne, you would know that you really need to have patience because although it would be really, really nice to apply a topical treatment and then the next day it'll be better, it just doesn't work like that. So I used to be super impatient with beauty and skincare, but now I've had no choice but to develop patience. And so yeah, the first couple of weeks I didn't see any difference. 6 to 8 weeks is the time that they say you should usually leave to see a difference with most things, but acne treatment being one of them. So at the 6-week mark, I just wasn't happy with how much that I'd progressed, because 6 to 8 weeks, like 8 weeks, that's 2 months, and my acne had not gone away. Sure, my cysts had decreased, they weren't as painful and they weren't as inflamed, but yeah, my face was just so dry because of the Epiduo and also because of the moisturizer. The moisturizer just really didn't work for me because, yeah, like I said, it was really drying, but also if I got it anywhere near my eyes, it would just sting. It would be so painful. And you think that that would be easy, right? Like you just apply it here, and obviously most of my acne was on my cheeks, so I had to apply it there. But even if I washed my hands afterwards, sure enough, later that night I would be really tired and I would like wipe my eyes, and even after washing my hands, it would still get into my eye and it would just sting like crazy and my eyes would be watering. Like it was just so painful. I even would wash my hands, like I started washing my hands 3 times after I applied the moisturizer. Yeah, it just was crazy. So I know a lot of acne treatments are really drying, and that is because they're trying to get rid of the excess oil, but this was just too much, and I will insert a picture, but my face was just red raw, like it wasn't good. So at the same time as starting the Biologi BD serum, I also started probiotics. I couldn't really tell you which one made the biggest difference, but I definitely do know that both of them contributed to my healing dramatically, because about a month ago I ran out of probiotics and I went a week without before I was able to get to the pharmacy to buy more. And in that week I got 4 new pimples. I got the most pimples that I had gotten since the start of my acne journey, where I was just getting 1 every day. So I definitely did notice a difference when I ran out of probiotics. But in saying that, I do know that Biologi made a huge difference, because even after the first week, I noticed that my face was really hydrated. It was really calm, like all the inflammation had just relaxed. And also my redness and my scars and just my dark spots had already started brightening. So the brightening of BD serum is crazy. Like I was so impressed by it. So there you have it, my acne journey. I will put up a raw and vulnerable photo of what I look like now. And I say raw and vulnerable because obviously I am still a work in progress. I still have scars. I still break out occasionally because my hormones are still trying to balance themselves out. But you know, I am a lot further than what I was, and I'm very happy with where I am now, and my confidence is back. And so yeah, I couldn't be happier. I'm off Doxy, I'm off the pill, and I'm definitely heading in the right direction. The difference is now that I know how to get rid of the pimples and the cysts when they come. I know what my body is trying to tell me when they do arrive and when I do get other symptoms like cramps and PMS. If you liked this video, then please make sure to like it below, subscribe and share it with your friends. Also, I have a beautiful little community over on my new Instagram, and I love hearing from you in the DMs about your personal journey. I hope this video inspired you to believe that it is possible to cure your acne naturally, and I hope you go and check out my other videos where I teach you how to do just that. Remember that everybody is different, and so my story is not going to be the same as yours, but I hope that you educate yourself on your own body so that you can listen to what it is telling you, because that is how you're going to be successful. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope to see you in my next video. I can help you out. I can help you out. I can help